How are you guys doing? It is Friday, September 4th, 2020, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through what happened yesterday with playoff basketball, with playoff hockey, as well as the WNBA bubble. And I'm going to take you through what happened with baseball yesterday. But first, I'm going to get started with playoff basketball because, of course, we're in the heat of the playoffs right now. So, in the first game of the day, the Eastern semifinals between these Toronto Raptors and Boston Celtics. In that game, the Toronto Raptors, the 2 seed, would beat the Boston Celtics 104 to 103 on a game-winning three-point shot from OG Anunoby to get their first win of the series. But the Boston Celtics have lost their first game of the playoffs in their seventh game played, and the Boston Celtics still lead the series 2-1. As they're still 2 games away from clinching a spot in the Eastern Conference Finals. First, looking into what happened between the two teams, starting with the Boston Celtics, it was mainly just a starters affair. Out of the starters, their center Daniel Tice would finish with 9 points and 7 rebounds. He actually had the go-ahead basket very late with about half a second left from Kemba Walker off an amazing play that almost sent them, which almost gave them their third win, put them up 3-0. Their guard, Marcus Smart, would finish with 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in 37 minutes. Their elite power forward, Jason Tatum, would finish with 15 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal as he shot 5 for 18 from the field in 39 minutes. He shot 1 for 4 from 3, and he made 4 of his 6 free throw attempts. Additionally, their shooting guard, Jaylen Brown, would finish with 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 assists, shooting 9 for 15 from the field in 40 minutes. And their biggest performer would be their elite point guard, Kemba Walker, who would finish the game with 29 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. He shot 9 for 15 from the field in 39 minutes. He shot 4 for 7 from 3 and made all 7 of his free throw attempts. And he would have the dime to Daniel Tice. That would put the Boston Celtics up 103 to 101, but it would be OG Anunoby's 3 off the inbound with half a second left that would put the Toronto Raptors over as he had an amazing performance. But going to the starters of the Raptors, OG Anunoby, speaking of, he would finish with 12 points, 10 rebounds, an assist, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. As the hero of the game, finished 4 for 8 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and he made 1 of his 2 free throw attempts. Marc Gasol, their center, would finish with 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists on the day in 26 minutes. Pascal Siakam, their elite power forward, would finish with 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block as he shot 6 for 15 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, and he made 3 of his 4 attempts in 38 minutes played. Their shooting guard, Fred VanVleet, would finish with 25 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists. He would almost foul out. He'd hit 5 fouls. He would shoot 9 for 22 from the field, 5 for 13 from 3. And their biggest performer would be the Raptors point guard, Kyle Lowry, who would finish with 31 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. In 46 minutes, he would go on to shoot 13 for 23 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3, 3 for 4 from the line. With this win, like I just said, the 2-seed Toronto Raptors have officially made it a series. And that will give them a bit of momentum going forward after the Boston Celtics took the very first 2 games. Jumping to the second game of the night, the 2-seed Los Angeles Clippers were able to beat the 3-seed Denver Nuggets in their first matchup of the Western Conference semifinals. With this series, like I just said, the Los Angeles Clippers hold a 1-0 lead over the Nuggets. For the Nuggets, they had everyone on their entire roster played. Monte Morris would be the only player off the bench to score double digits as he would finish with 12 points and 4 rebounds in 17 minutes. For the Denver Nuggets, out of the starters, their power forward, Jeremy Grant, would finish with 12 points and 3 assists on the day. Jamal Murray, their point guard, would finish with 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists. Paul Millsap would finish with 13 points and 9 rebounds. Nikola Jokic, their elite center, would finish with 15 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists as he shot 6 for 14 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, and he made 3 of his 4 free throw attempts. Not much going. For the Los Angeles Clippers, on the other hand, off the bench, Lou Williams, their guard, would finish with 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists in 24 minutes played. He shot 5 for 9 from the field. Additionally, their power forward, Montrezl Harrell, would finish with 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block in 19 minutes as he shot 5 for 11 from the field, 5 for 6 from the line. Out of their starters, their forward, Marcus Morris Sr., would finish with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals as he had a lot of big shots down the stretch. He shot 7 for 10 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3 on the night. Additionally, their elite wing, Paul George, would finish with 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists and 2 steals as well. He's shot 6 for 13 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3, and 5 for 7 from the free throw line. And their GOAT level small forward, Kawhi Leonard, would have their biggest performance of the night. He would finish with 29 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot 12 for 16 from the field, with shooting 1 for 2 from 3 and 4 for 4 from the line. He did all this in 32 minutes. I think he had the performance of the night, and he definitely did so to get the Los Angeles Clippers to get this early lead over the Denver Nuggets, and now they are 3 wins away from clinching a spot in the Western Conference Finals. So with that said, I'm going to jump into what to look forward to today because it is Friday basketball and all teams are in the conference semis. First at 6:30, the Milwaukee Bucks are going to take on the Miami Heat. The 5th seed Miami Heat are still undefeated in the playoffs. As they are now up 2-0 over the top seed Milwaukee Bucks. I think the Bucks turn it around today, but we'll see how that one goes. And the Heat do have a chance of going up 3-0 and kind of putting the series out of reach. And at 9 o'clock, it's the first game between the 4 seed Houston Rockets and the top seed Los Angeles Lakers. James Harden and Russell Westbrook versus LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I think this is probably going to be a playoff matchup. This is gonna be a playoff matchup for the ages, I think. When we look back at this, we're going to look back and be like, okay, this was actually a really, really good playoff series. Yeah, so game 1 of that starts tonight. It's at 9 p.m. tonight on ESPN, while the Bucks and Heat game is on TNT. Of course, now jumping to the WNBA bubble, just to let you know everything that's going on over there. First up, the Atlanta Dream were able to get their 5th win of the season, beating the New York Liberty 62-56. Courtney Williams would lead the way with 15 points and 13 rebounds. Additionally, the Las Vegas Aces were able to beat the Connecticut Sun 93-78, led by center Aja Wilson's 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. And last but not least, Brianna Turner would lead the way for Phoenix as they beat the Indiana Fever 105-81. Brianna Turner would finish with 16 points and 12 rebounds on the night. With this win, the Mercury are now 11-7 in the West. Now, looking forward to what to look forward to today. The Chicago Sky are going to take on the Washington Mystics. The Sky are 11-7, looking to improve their record. At 8 o'clock, the Minnesota Lynx take on the Dallas Wings. The Wings are 6-11, trying to turn things around for their season, as the Lynx are 12-5. And last but not least, the 2 top teams in the West face off at 10 o'clock as the Seattle Storm take on the Los Angeles Sparks. Breanna Stewart versus Candace Parker. It's a matchup for the ages in the WNBA. So that's everything that's going on there. Now taking a jump to the Stanley Cup bubble. Starting out in the East bubble, the top seed Philadelphia Flyers were able to beat the 6th seed New York Islanders to tie their series at 3 in Game 6 to keep themselves alive. Of course, led by their goalie Carter Hart, who would have 49 saves with a crazy shot differential. It would make it to the final minutes. Of course, Ivan Provorov. He would have a pretty big game for them. He would have a goal and assist. With this win, like I said, the Flyers survive against the Islanders, and they will have to play a Game 7 very soon. And additionally, following that, the Vancouver Canucks also forced a Game 7 after blanking the Golden Knights 4-0 after scoring 3 goals in the third period. Led by their goalie, Thatcher Demko, who actually had an all-time game yesterday to keep the Canucks in the playoffs against the top seed Golden Knights. So that's everything that's going on there. In terms of what to look forward to today, the Dallas Stars take on the Colorado Avalanche. They're for Game 7 at 4 o'clock on USA. And the Canucks will take on the Golden Knights for Game 7 on NBC Sports. So the matchup for the Western Conference Stanley Cup match, or for the Stanley Cup Western Conference Final will be set tonight after the Canucks and Golden Knights play their Game 7. So that's everything that's going on with hockey right now. I'm going to jump out into baseball just to let you know what's going on over there. And jumping out to the East, starting in Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Phillies were able to beat the Washington Nationals 6-5 in the 10th inning off of a sacrifice fly from their up-and-coming young gun, Alec Bohm. And for them, I mean, Eflin would make the start for the Philadelphia Phillies. He'd allow four runs in 6 innings pitched. Anibal Sanchez would make the start for the Washington Nationals. He'd allow 1 run in 3 innings pitched, but he would get replaced. And of course, the Nationals bullpen would blow it yet again. For the Nationals, their shortstop Trey Turner would finish 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run as he hit his 8th home run of the season in the 3rd inning. Additionally, Michael Taylor hit his 4th home run of the season as the pinch-hitting right fielder finished 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run. For the Philadelphia Phillies, their elite right fielder Bryce Harper would finish 1 for 5 with a run on the day. Their first baseman Rhys Hoskins would finish 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 7th home run of the season in the 3rd inning. Also, Alec Bohm finished 3 for 4 with an RBI, one of them being, or that RBI being the sacrifice fly to help them win the game. With this win, the Philadelphia Phillies are now 18-15 in the NL East, and the Washington Nationals now drop to 12-23. Staying in the NL East, the New York Mets hosted the New York Yankees, their crosstown rivals, and they were able to beat them 9-7 in the 10th inning off of a Pete Alonso walk-off home run to finish off their rally from when they were down 7-4 at the top of the 8th an Aaron Hicks RBI single. So J.A. Happ would get the start for the Yankees. He'd allow 4 earned runs in 5 innings. Selman would get the start for the Mets, but he'd allow 4 earned runs in less than 2 innings. But the Mets were still somehow able to turn it around. For the Yankees, their second baseman, DJ LeMahieu, would finish 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Additionally, their designated hitter, Luke Voit, would finish 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Their center fielder, Aaron Hicks, would finish 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run. Gio Urshela would finish 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. So, I mean, the Yankees, the bats were getting it going. And for the Mets, their second baseman, Jeff McNeil, would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI. J.D. Davis, their designated hitter, would finish 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 5th home run of the season. Todd Frazier hit his 3rd home run of the season as the third baseman finished 3 for 5 with an RBI and 3 runs on the day. And the New York Mets elite first baseman, Pete Alonso, would finish 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run on the day. With this win, the New York Mets are 17-21. The Yankees drop to 20-16. And then jumping out to the American League East, the Boston Red Sox, the Yankees' rival, would lose to the Toronto Blue Jays in Fenway. They lose 6-2, especially after a 4-run 10th inning by the Blue Jays. The Red Sox were up 2-0 at one point, but the Blue Jays tied it up in the 7th and 8th inning, and then they just pulled away with it in the 4th. Off of a Teoscar Hernandez 3-run home run, and then a Lourdes Gurriel solo shot to send them away with this. With this win, the Toronto Blue Jays are now 20-16. With this loss, the Red Sox are now 12-26. Notably for the Toronto Blue Jays, their pitcher Taijuan Walker would allow only 2 runs and strike out 4 batters in 5.2 innings pitched. For the Boston Red Sox, I mean, out of their batters, Jackie Bradley Jr., their center fielder, would hit his 4th home run of the season as he finished 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. And for the Blue Jays, their designated hitter, Teoscar Hernandez, would finish 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. Their elite first baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., would finish 0 for 4 with a walk on the day. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., their left fielder, would finish 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Big win, of course, for the Toronto Blue Jays. Jumping out west, starting in Houston, the Houston Astros were able to beat the Texas Rangers 8-4 as Zach Greinke took on Lance Lynn. Zach Greinke would pick up his 3rd win of the season. He's now 3-0. Lance Lynn would pick up his 2nd loss. He's now 4-2. Lance Lynn would allow 6 earned runs in 6 innings pitched, and he would strike out 7. Zach Greinke would allow 3 earned runs in 6 innings pitched, and he would strike out 9 for the day. Out of the Texas Rangers, their second baseman Nick Solak would finish 3 for 4 with 3 runs on the day. Additionally, their catcher Jose Trevino would finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs on the day. Jumping out to the Houston Astros, their elite second baseman Jose Altuve would finish 1 for 1 with a run on the day. Additionally, their third baseman Aldemus Diaz finished 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run as he had his first home run of the season. Additionally, their catcher Martin Maldonado would finish 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs, as he would go on to hit his fourth home run of the season. With this win, the Houston Astros are now 21-15 in the AL West, and the Texas Rangers dropped to 13-23 with this loss. Staying in the AL West, the Los Angeles Angels host the San Diego Padres of the NL West, and the Angels were able to shut out the Padres, beating them 2-0. Of course, behind their starting pitcher, Andrew Heaney, who picked up his third win of the season. He's now 3-2. Clevenger would pick up his second loss of the season. I think this would be his first loss with the San Diego Padres and his first start with them. He would allow 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched and strike out 2 batters. For the Padres, their elite shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. would finish 1 for 4, and he would strike out once. Their elite third baseman Manny Machado would finish 0 for 4, striking out once. For the Angels, and just starting off with Andrew Heaney, he would allow no earned runs in 7 innings pitched, walking 2 batters and striking out 6. For the Los Angeles Angels, their shortstop Andrelton Simmons would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI. Their GOAT-level center fielder Mike Trout would finish 0 for 4, striking out once. Their elite third baseman Anthony Rendon would finish 2 for 4 with a run on the day. And with this win, the Los Angeles Angels are now 13-25 in the AL West, as the San Diego Padres are now 23-16 in the National League West. Last but not least, in the West, jumping out to Dodger Stadium, the Los Angeles Dodgers were able to beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 5-1. Weaver would pick up his 6th loss of the season as he allowed 2 earned runs in 5.1 innings pitched, striking out 5. The win here would go to Clayton Kershaw, the GOAT-level pitcher of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who with his 5th win is now 5-1 on the season. In this game, he would pitch 6 innings. He would allow no earned runs. He would allow 1 hit, and he would strike out 8. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, they weren't getting much going in terms of the hitters. But for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Mookie Betts, their elite right fielder, would finish 1-for-5 with an RBI on the day. Corey Seager, their shortstop, would finish 3-for-4 with a run. Max Muncy, their third baseman, finished 1-for-2 with a run. AJ Pollock, their pinch-hitting left fielder, would finish 1-for-2 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 7th home run of the season in the 7th inning. With this win, the Los Angeles Dodgers have the National League best the National League best 29 wins on the season. They're 29-10, and the Arizona Diamondbacks slipped to 14-24. Additionally, for the Dodgers, former MVP Cody Bellinger did play. He played first base, and he finished 0-for-4 on the day. Now, last but not least, jumping to the Central. Jumping out to Pittsburgh, the Pirates were able to get their 11th win of the season, beating the Chicago Cubs, the NL Central leading Chicago Cubs, 6-2. With this win, it would go to JT Brubaker, who would pick up his first win of the season. In 5 innings pitched, he would only allow 1 earned run. He'd allow 2 runs, and he would strike out 5 on the day. And for the Pirates, they had a couple players going. Cole Tucker, their right fielder, would finish 2-for-5 with 2 RBIs and a run. Brian Reynolds, their left fielder, would hit his 3rd home run of the season as he finished 2-for-4 with 3 RBIs and a run. Big win for him as the Pittsburgh Pirates are now 11-24, and the Cubs now drop to 22-15. And jumping out to the American League Central for the last game of the day, the Chicago White Sox were able to get the best of the Kansas City Royals, 11-6. Dylan Cease picked up his 5th win of the season. He's now 5-2. He would allow 3 runs in 5 innings pitched, and he struck out 1. Danny Duffy picked up the loss for the Royals. He allowed 6 earned runs in 6 innings. Not much going for him. In terms of the Kansas City batters, their second baseman, Nicky Lopez, would finish 2-for-4 with 3 RBIs on the day, which would account for half of their RBIs. The White Sox bats had it going yet again, as the White Sox tend to. Their shortstop, Tim Anderson, would finish 3-for-4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his 7th home run of the season. Additionally, their left fielder Eloy Jimenez would finish 1 for 5 with a run. Their catcher, Yasmani Grandal would finish 2 for 3 with a run. Their first baseman Jose Abreu would finish 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run. And additionally, their center fielder, Luis Robert, would finish 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 11th home run of the season. And their designated hitter, Edwin Encarnacion, would hit his 7th home run of the season is in the second inning off of Danny Duffy. He finished 1 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs. With this win, the Chicago White Sox are now 23-15. With this loss, the Kansas City Royals are now 14-24. And those are all the games that happened yesterday. And just to give you a look into what games to look forward to today, because once again, it's Friday. Because there's gonna be a lot of earlier games. There's a lot to look forward to, a good amount of doubleheaders. First off, the Tigers are going to take on the Twins in a doubleheader. In the first game, it's going to be Matt Boyd versus Randy Dobnak, and Randy Dobnak's gotten off to an amazing start this year. The starters for the second game have not been decided yet. Luis Castillo's looking to get his first win for the Cincinnati Reds. He's 0-5 as they take on the Pirates in Game 1. And then Trevor Bauer, probably the front runner for the National League Cy Young, is going to start the second game of this 2-game head-to-head matchup versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. So that's gonna be a very interesting game to watch. Additionally, the Blue Jays are gonna take on the Red Sox. It'll be Roark versus Godley for the first matchup and Mazza versus Stripling for the second. Continuing on, the Washington Nationals are going to take on the Atlanta Braves for a 2-game doubleheader, one at 4 o'clock, and I guess one that follows that. The Yankees are going to play the Orioles in a doubleheader starting at 5:05. Additionally, Jake Arrieta is looking to get his 3rd win of the season as he takes on former AL Cy Young winner Rick Porcello of the Mets at 7:10. Carlos Carrasco is looking to get his 3rd win of the season as he takes on the Milwaukee Brewers at 7:10. Jack Flaherty and Yu Darvish, 2 of the National League's hottest arms, are going to face off as the NL Central's biggest rivalry takes root at 8:15. As the Cardinals take on the Cubs. Lance McCullers Jr. is taking on Dylan Bundy as the Astros take on the Angels at 9:10. Dustin May is looking to get his 2nd win for the Dodgers as they take on Senzatella and the Colorado Rockies, who just dropped below 500. And Trevor Anderson's looking to get yet another start as they take on Clark and the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's everything that you need to know for today. Once again, it is Friday, September 4th, 2020. Thank you for listening to all 22 minutes of this. Once again, this is The Elite. Thank you once again for hearing my piece. I'm James Sims, and peace out.